Welcome back. I'm still with political strategist Pete Barnes, and frankly, we're in quite a celebratory mood. We don't make any secret of our prejudices here on this channel. You know, unlike the BBC, which pretends to be unbiased but is hopelessly biased, hopelessly partial, not impartial. You know me. I wanted Trump to win, and I wanted Kamala to lose, and that's why I'm quite a happy bunny right now. But more important than what I think, let's talk about what this means for Britain. Through gritted teeth, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, today congratulated the new President of the United States of America in the House of Commons. Take a look.
Mr. Speaker, can I begin by congratulating President-elect Trump on his historic election victory. As the closest of allies, the UK and US will continue to work together to protect our shared values of freedom and democracy. And having had dinner with President-elect Trump just a few weeks ago, I look forward to working with him in the years to come.
Now, that was good enough, I suppose. Before we discuss the ramifications of Trump being the president, because I think you'll agree there are tremendous problems now with our Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. Let's have a look at Nigel Farage. You spoke to Mike Graham, who did one hell of a shift last night, all the way through the night, covering the election here on Talk. Great job by Mike. Ian Collins chipped in as well. But Mike was going right through the night. But anyway, he spoke to Farage this morning, Nigel Farage. Let's have a listen to Mr. Farage.
He sees us as being more important than our size today would suggest, because we're the bridge to Europe, we're the bridge to NATO, we're the bridge to the European Union, which, by the way, he's even more Eurosceptic than me in some ways. Yeah. We have an opportunity to do a trade deal outside of the Trump tariff regime. Yes. But it's going to need Keir Starmer to roll out the red carpet and to roll it out PDQ. And Trump will forget what Lammy said. Despite being a political opponent of Starmer and Blair in many, many ways, what I do know is that our relationship with America is crucial to our future survival.
You've intimated there that you're certainly willing to help any kind of deal that the government can do. Does that mean that you're kind of you would be officially or unofficially a kind of a bridge between the US government and the UK government?
I'm not going to give up being the MP for Clacton to take on any ambassadorial role of any kind at all. Let's be clear about that. But behind the scenes, I could, if wanted, I think be very helpful.
See, a hell of an offer from Nigel Farage there, Pete. We'll talk about that in just a little while. The reason we could do with Nigel Farage acting as a go-between, he's actually, even though he's Reform UK leader, he's offering his services to a government that, frankly, he despises. Oh, yeah. But he is offering his services to our Labour government to act as a go-between due to his friendship with Trump. I think that could be extremely useful to us, a lot more useful to this country than this guy. Let's have a look at David Lammy.
Well, we're marching because we are standing in solidarity with many Americans and communicating our huge disapproval with this president. A president who's said awful things during London's lowest moments of terrorism, who has attacked our democratically elected Mayor Sadiq Khan, a president who has retweeted far-right hatred of Britain First, the hatred that saw the death of Joe Cox. For all of those reasons and so much more, people are coming out in droves today to make it absolutely clear that Donald Trump is not welcome in our country. I don't think any of us could have believed that a man full of such bile, such hatred, such evil would get his hands on what at its best is the beacon of freedom.
Well, that's our current Foreign Secretary. This, of course, was when Donald was still the president in his former presidency, when he was the 45th president. And he's now the Foreign Secretary. We're going to put the tweet up that he also posted about Donald Trump, calling him a neo-Nazi, racist and God knows what. Now, Nigel Farage is right. I think Trump is a big enough man to be pragmatic enough to, if necessary, deal with this idiot Lammy. There it goes. If Trump comes to the UK, I'll be protesting on the streets. He is a racist, Ku Klux Klan and Nazi sympathiser. That isn't true from the start. That's absolute rubbish and dangerous rubbish right now. Now, yes, Lammy, or rather Donald Trump, is big enough and pragmatic enough to deal with Lammy. But I think if Keir Starmer has any sense at all, he will ditch this Foreign Secretary, PDQ, because as long as he's in that role, Lammy, American-British relations will be difficult.
I think that's right. I think Trump has already said, you know, from this dinner that he's willing to work with Starmer and that he offered David Lammy second portions, which apparently is a sign of friendship for Donald Trump. But no, the thing that really struck me was the appointment. Was the appointment of Lammy.
McDonald.
Oh God! Could you imagine an extra Diet Coke? But no, it was actually the appointment of Lammy in the first place. Considering these tweets and considering what could have happened, and which we've now seen has, Starmer was a fool, an utter fool, to appoint him in the first place. I mean, these incendiary comments, like you said, aren't only untrue, they are deliberately provocative. In his book, Tribes, Lammy even says he chose his language deliberately to light up Twitter, and deliberately to be incendiary. That is not a serious person. That is a student union activist.
You're right. That is the word. He's not a serious politician. He's a sort of silly student activist.
What's also really concerning is that whilst Trump, like you said, has kind of moved on, David Lammy has still stood by. It is shocking, really, that he hasn't retracted them, as in a matter of professional courtesy more than anything else. Just what Trump and is able to do, and the UK relations here is really important. Like as we said, with this free trade deal to get us outside of the tariffs is absolutely vital. The impending trade war between what's going to be China and the United States is going to wrap everybody around the world, and we have to have as much protection as we can, and we must get this free trade deal done, and done quickly, and done to the best possible moment, which I agree with you might involve Nigel Farage. But Keir Starmer is never going to let that happen. Let's be real, he is a child. He's not going to let that happen, because realistically, you will just elevate Nigel Farage, and Keir Starmer will never do that. He'll never do it.
He's a kind of infantile ideal.
He'd rather sink the United Kingdom than admit Nigel Farage has something to offer.
And what Farage could do here, and this is essentially what Farage is saying, has certainly been telling friends, I know this, is from conversations he's had with Donald Trump's going to put tariffs on foreign countries all over the world, but he is prepared to do a trade deal with Britain outside of all the other tariffs that he's going to give to other countries. So he is prepared potentially to do a special trade deal with America. Nigel Farage could facilitate this, and you just know that our pathetic Prime Minister won't take Nigel's fat hand of friendship.
And Farage is bang on. It is roll out the red carpet PDQ. It is exactly that. But when you've got Sadiq Khan saying today that Londoners are fearful, and you've still got these comments of David Lammy and other Labour MPs, including most of the cabinet, who are preferably anti-Trump in a very ferocious way. I think it is a real problem here if he doesn't bring in Farage. But again, I just don't see it. I just see a petulant little child that would rather see the United Kingdom sink to protect his own ego than allow Nigel Farage to actually do something of some good.
And don't forget, these people in our current cabinet, they're Marxists.
Oh yeah.
That means, therefore, they hate America. America America the very epitome of capitalism. They don't like that. They don't like America. They don't like Americans. They don't like Britain either much because we're a capitalist country as well. So big problems there, I would suggest. So what we're going to do next, when we are going to go to break in just a little while, but we are going to talk about basically this campaign in terms of Donald Trump and, of course, in terms of Kamala. We're going to talk about the humiliation of cackling Kamala. As I said, in my view, the worst candidate imaginable. And also, we're going to, old Sleepy Joe, right? There was a bit of fire left in the old dog yet. He shafted her. We'll talk about that after these messages. Stay where you are.